Alright, man. Big Wave got the Holy One. Subscribe to the YouTube channel on the screen. You see what's going on right there, man. Also, go over to Instagram and subscribe to your boy page, man. 341 subscribers. I think I lost 2 since yesterday. What the fuck? I had 343. Today, we're going to be reacting to a criminal lawyer breaks down K-Flock's murder case. Now, we've been hearing about K-Flock a lot this past week. 18-year-old artist from Bronx, New York, I think. Recently caught a body, which, you know, I guess has propelled him into the superstar atmosphere because this is hip-hop. And today, we're going to watch a lawyer break down his case, whether he's guilty or not, because a lot of people be talking about it was self-defense. The witnesses came out and said the wrong thing. Then the police dropped the video and it said it showed something else. But at the end of the day, everybody in New York, y'all can't have motherfucking guns. So I don't know how it's going to play out. Let's see what the motherfucking lawyer got to say.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
That boy said he gonna react to all the self-snitching, y'all. My boy got a whole intro though.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Now his theme song just let you know where the fuck we at as a culture. He gonna react to all the self-snitching. Bruce Rivers.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts, CLR. I'm Bruce Rivers.
Follow that boy.
Board certified criminal defense lawyer. And today we're reacting to K-Flock. Now, we did a reaction to one of his songs recently. And that was
shit,
Is You Ready? And if you remember that was about 2-3 weeks ago. And I can't make this stuff up. How is it that he just got picked up on December 16th for a homicide? Now, what he did was he was in a barbershop. Now, we're going to play the video here for you so you can see what we're talking about. But he's in a barbershop. There's some exchange between he and another patron of the barbershop. And he walks out, and then the other guy follows him.
And what they originally said was that K-Flock opened up the barbershop and said something to him. This is what the witnesses said. But the video shows he just walked straight by and the other dudes come out the barbershop. And
then somehow he gets shot, and we'll talk a little bit more about, you know, the facts surrounding it because they're not quite clear is exactly what happened. And then he's charged with 3 counts. 3 counts. 1 count of second-degree intentional murder, and he's charged with second-degree criminal possession of a weapon. 2 counts of that. And we'll talk about more what the penalties are and that kind of thing. But let's take a look at the video because he's in New York and he's coming out of this barbershop.
Reaction within a reaction. Nigga come outside. I'm assuming that's the person that got shot. I don't
So now this video that's been posted all over the internet doesn't really show Kevin Perez, aka K-Flock.
Okay. I thought it showed him walk by though.
But it does show a reaction by other folks. So you get kind of a timing of what's going on. So these people probably heard the gunshot and now they're reacting to it.
He like, whoa, what the fuck going on?
Now remember what I told you. There's video cameras all over just about every city in America. Now, let's just
think about that. What he just said is videos at CCTV. Like we're in Europe. We don't have as much as them, but it's video cameras on every corner, criminals.
Look at, there's a couple things I want to go over with
Come
you.
on.
First of all, what is he charged with? The first count, he's charged with murder in the second degree. Murder, the second degree, is one of the most significant crimes in New York State and just about any other state. It is called an A1 felony, and you could very likely get a life sentence if you're convicted. And even if you don't get a life sentence, there's a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 to 40 years. It's called indeterminate sentencing. Next, he's also charged with criminal possession of a firearm. In New York, you can't just own or possess in public, for that matter, a firearm. You have to have a permit. And it carries with it a 15-year penalty, but there's a mandatory minimum penalty of 3.5 years. So, and that's something that the judge doesn't have any discretion with whatsoever.
If y'all remember, about 10 years ago, when that boy Lil Wayne got caught in New York with the banger, it wasn't no escaping that shit, man. He had to go sit down and do that fucking time. And that's when Drake took over the game. So just imagine a up-and-coming motherfucker who just caught a body in New York. And you on gang files, all that shit. Man, how you gonna get a sip?
It's called mandatory sentencing. And in that particular instance, if you are, like, let's say you're just caught with a firearm at the airport, for example, it's what they call a strict liability crime. And
Joel Santana also got caught at the airport with the motherfucking banger. He had to go do that time.
It sort of assumes you have 0 criminal history score. And if the judge doesn't have any discretion, and you're looking at a 3.5-year sentence, I mean, they take their gun laws extremely seriously in New York. So let's just take a look at the picture. You can see here that
if anybody know the history of the gun laws in New York and why they banned them, put them in the comments. I really want to know. I'm assuming because the whole fucking mafia era and motherfuckers just getting whacked and all that shit. Let me know in the comments if y'all from New York.
Mr. Perez is wearing some very distinctive clothing. And that's one of the things that cops will do is they'll have a supposed expert because I can see a stripe here and there's a stripe here. You know, it's more common sense than anything else. But that is probably how he was identified. We tried looking for the criminal complaint. I couldn't pull it up for whatever reason at this point, but we'll get that and then we'll analyze the facts that are embedded within that. However, I will tell you something about what his lawyers are saying. K-Floc's attorney is a guy by the name of Scott Lehman. I don't know him, but he released a statement, and it says, "We have begun our own investigation into these allegations. More importantly, considering the DA's significant disclosure this morning that the NYPD received a tip saying someone else is the shooter, we demanded that the DA's office promptly provide disclosure of the videos referenced in the complaint and more information on the tip." Kevin Perez, a.k.a. K-Flock, went into a barbershop. And the way the story goes is that the person that was in there...
He didn't go in the barbershop, though, according to the video.
Said, "What are you looking at?" And he walked out. And then the person that was in there walked after him. Now, remember what I said about closing the gap? The only problem is that the guy that was following him was shot in the neck and in the back.
He was trying
now, that could happen in a number of ways, obviously.
I mean, if he was the aggressor, nigga pulled out the fucking gun, of course a nigga gonna fucking run. He better, shit. It was already too late at that point.
But in this particular instance, if he was, if someone's chasing you and they're closing the gap, that makes a plausible self-defense more likely. And remember what I said about self-defense. Self-defense, once they get the instruction, the jury gets the instruction about self-defense, self-defense is something that the prosecution has to prove you didn't do. So in other words, it's presumed. The defense has to put up some plausible showing of self-defense in order to get the instruction. But once you get the instruction, they have to basically prove a negative. They have to prove that you didn't act in self-defense and that what you did was disproportionate to whatever threat there was. And they have to disprove each element of self-defense.
Everybody
So,
got to prove their case, man.
I don't think the
Everybody
final
gotta prove their
chapter's been
case.
written on this one yet. He's got great representation. You know, he just signed a deal with Crapo Records. You know, what's in his
Who?
the
Crapo
deal.
Records.
He's got great representation.
Who?
You know, he just signed a deal with Crapo Records. You know, what's
Capital?
in his the DOA tape is, you know, the latest album, and we did the Is You Ready, and Op Spotter is another one on that, and it's pretty popular.
Spotter.
And so
Whoa.
to see him
That song, that name of that song, a little bad in court for this case. Op Spotter. That nigga spotted the op.
face such serious charges at a young age of 18, when he's got nothing but, you know, up on his way. But like I said, we'll see what happens, because if someone's chasing you, you have the right to defend yourself. And if that person's armed, which we don't know he is or isn't, you have the right to defend yourself. And in this particular instance, you know, just because the guy shot in the back and shot in the neck does not mean that the guy was necessarily running away. I mean, you can turn in an instant,
That's what I'm
and you know,
Once nigga the
it
bus,
could happen.
nigga-
I don't know exactly where in his back he was shot. This is all, you know, too early. But it seems to me that his own team seems to think they may have a plausible case of self-defense. But here's the deal. Even if he walks on the homicide, he still may be on the hook for the other two
The gun charge.
crimes.
Not to mention they gonna say
second degree
discharging the firearm and all that shit.
possession of a firearm in
You
public.
ain't supposed to have.
And I told you what the penalties are. I mean, he could be looking at some serious time on that regardless. So, like I said, the final chapter is not written yet on this. And we'll follow it. And, you know, I want you guys just to take a real hard look at this. He's 18 years old. And he may not have been able to avoid this situation. He just may not have been able to. We don't know yet. And it sounds like there's a tipster who said somebody else was doing the shooting. So we don't know that yet either. It's just all too early to tell. But to be facing such a heavy thing at such a young age, you know, better off try to avoid situations where that could occur. And that's my advice to every one of you guys out there. So that's our rapper update for today. That was you know, Kevin Perez, aka K-Flock, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. If you are watching this,
Well, I'll say it's not looking good for bro. Even if he do get the self-defense charge, he gotta face the gun charges in motherfucking state of New York, letting off live rounds and shit. The nigga got shot in the back, but they got so many witnesses talking about he not the shooter. Witnesses saying another story happened. I guess we just gonna have to wait to see, man. Big wave God, I'm out this bitch.